Welcome everyone to another live stream. Just jumping on a LEVEL Esports Racing hosted Recon, which is of Tuesday's WTRL Zwift Racing League, which is going to be round 3, stage 5, taking place on everything Bagel, 34.3 kilometers in length, 545 meters of elevation, 2 times up the New York Com. This one's a points race, 3 segments in play: the New York Sprint, the New York Com, and then the New York Sprint in reverse for FTS and FAL points. So thanks for joining me on this one. I'm going to get this one underway. I'm actually not ride leading or sweeping on this one, which is nice. I'm just going to jump on, hopefully take you through the course, give you my insights of what I think is out there for you to be mindful of, and hopefully you can enjoy this Recon ride with LEVEL Esports Racing. Just going to mute the mic now while I just get a few final things done, and then we'll jump straight in with it. That's fun, nearly dropped off the back on the start, but this one's starting in the race pens then. Like I say, 34.3 kilometers in length. I have changed the top display for you so it's in kilometers. As we come out of the race pens here joining the course, little lead in, then around about 0.4 kilometers into this race, the first little kicker just to be mindful of. It's going to get further down. As you can tell, I'm still full of cold. Literally just jumped on this just to get an hour in the legs before I sit in front of the telly and watch a bit of football, I think. There we go, 0.4, this little kicker. Get those legs ready for New York Com. That's a sort of 4 to 5%, peaks out around about 8%, just for a 0.3. Nice little one to get you going. Then we'll have a roll around the Central Park for a couple of K before we get to the New York Com for the first time. So this is a points race. The first time up the New York Com is not in play for FTS or FAL points. So the first climb up the New York Com is only for you to get an Anvil at the top. Just trying to make this clear to you then. This Recon today, if I just ditch that power up that's there, because you will not get a power up when you cross the start finish line at any point in the race on Tuesday. So if I get rid of that quickly and keep that clear, you'll see when we get to the top of the New York Com, I'll get given an Anvil power up. So the 4 power ups available today is an Anvil up the top of the first New York Com, a Featherweight after the first sprint, a Anvil at the top of the second New York climb, and then a 4th power up being a Featherweight, after the second sprint. Obviously how you use them, where you use them is entirely up to you. Right hand turn coming up, down into this little glass tunnel to take us on to the glass roads that lead us up to the New York Com So here we go. First time up. This is not FAL or FTS points, this climb. The first climb is only for an Anvil at the top. Just going to mute my mic. Just while we're making this climb, some really interesting conversations from sort of me doing this yesterday, the Recon ride yesterday on this course, and subsequent conversations after I've done it. Obviously yesterday was the first time I've done this sort of thing, commenting over it and riding it, but a lot of conversations around bike choice and wheels for Tuesday's race. My main Recon video that I did earlier on in the week has my Recon notes in it, and as I talk you through this today, I'll be using my Recon notes for all the markers and stuff. So all I would say is my recommendations for bike selection come from using the Zwift bike website with my FTP, weight, etc. added in. And the recommendation for me was the Pinarello Dogma F or the Canyon Aeroad 2024 bike. Recommendation was with the DT Swiss disc wheel set. So that was what was recommended for me. I'm not saying that's going to be the best thing for you. You need to do a little bit of research on it. The days of jumping on the Tron bike for everything have gone, but you might be better off considering using maybe a different wheel set. I think the Pinarello and the Canyon Aeroad are probably going to be the best bikes, but you could probably use either the zip wheels or the DT Swiss deep section wheels instead of the disc wheels. But have a look at that, think about how you're going to race it on Tuesday. Zwift the bike app or website will give you an idea for you, for your ability category, etc. Use that website for any route in Zwift and it'll give you the best bike recommendations for your FTP, weight, etc. For saying that, I'm on the Specialized S Works today with a DT disc wheel set, a few seconds slower apparently, but that's what I'm on today because I haven't changed it. I was a bit late getting out to the pain cave because I had a really lazy Sunday morning and sort of jumped on this last minute. So here you can see New York Com for the first time, 1.1 kilometers in length, 5.9% average gradient. Sort of comes in a couple of sections. Use a heads-up display to your advantage. Yellow bits, blue bits, you get a little bit of respite in. You can put a little kick in, maybe close the gap in front of you, See if I can get up to the ride leader, and then the darker orange bit is where you know the pain is, but use that heads-up display to your advantage, and but there you go. Do what you can, and remember this one only gives you a power up at the top, so not for points. Be interested to see how it plays out on Tuesday in the race. So here you go. Just going to mute the mic, get over the top of this one, get my breath back a little bit, and I'll be back with you. So there you go then. Our first round gives you that Anvil power up to help you on the descent. Anything greater than -2 is where you want to use it. I recommend if you can keep hold of it until we get round in a minute. We go around the left hand bend into a tunnel. Best thing to do is attack it and then use it. So I would either be considering attacking through this tunnel, 0% at the moment, and as we get towards those double figures, if you're attacking on this bit, as we hit the 10, 11, 12, 13% here, use your Anvil like I'm about to, you should be able to get an aero tuck. And that is probably one of the good places to use it. It's going to run out just as you get to this left hand bend, so it's run out now. Here's the flat bit. And you've got that little flat bit kicking down here, 13, 14% again. So I think, again, everyone's different. I think that's where I'd use it, tack through that tunnel, get on it from there. And just be mindful of that descent. It's going to come down to about 5.9 kilometers. You're going to see like a little kicker, but in my opinion, if you attack just before that little kicker at 5.9k, you probably just roll up the other side. It's showing it on the heads-up display now. You've got a descent into it. Just push a little bit harder on that descent. You'll probably be able to rise out the other side quite easily without any issues. As it's a Sunday, I don't know if you've looked yet, but on the YouTube channel for LEVEL Esports Racing, the latest coffee club video is out with one of our captains talking, interview with Nat Taylor. Go over to their YouTube channel, have a look at it. The whole idea of the coffee club that we're doing there is just purely to introduce some of the members of LEVEL Esports Racing, the various captains that we've got. We're a big community of esports riders, whether racing or not, all ages, all abilities, all categories catered for, all around the world. So why not, if you want to get involved in Zwift riding racing, jump on and get involved. Link in this video to the Facebook channel of LEVEL Esports Racing. So jump over there if you want to get involved. Send a message on the Facebook group, and somebody from the team will get back in contact with you about either signing you up for racing and riding, or just have a chat with you there. But this ride leader today, Kristen White, one of our riders from America. She's riding this one, hosting this one, or leading this one as part of the LEVEL Esports Racing hosted events that we're doing. So like I say, just get involved if you want to, and the Facebook channel's there if you need it. Right then, 6.9 in, this little kicker started about 6.7, goes on to 7.2, 4% average, just rising up a little bit now, 7k in. But yeah, great bit of advice there just popped up on the screen. Sorry, just trying to read messages as well. Great bit of advice there from Jamie, one of our riders from LEVEL Esports, about don't have to use the power ups just because you've got them available. I suggested the Anvil on that downhill bit, but you could keep hold of it for a little bit later on. So yeah, everyone's race is different. Just replying on some messages now. There you go, you get caught looking at my phone, get dropped off, front of the group in front, just trying to reply to him. Yeah, just replying to some questions there about people asking about whether that was in play or not. The start finish banner, it's not in play. There's only 4 power-ups in play, and you don't get the first one until you cross the com. So the com and the sprint banners are the only ones where you're going to get the power-ups on the race. Not sure why it's giving it today, but that's where they are. Right, I'm just going to get back up with Kirsten. This little kicker here, one to be mindful of, coming in at 9.6. It's only 0.1 of a kilometre long, so it's an 8-9% little kicker, with a nice 10% in there as well. So just want to be mindful of that. Kristen's really pushing on today. Not really getting my breath back, but it's like Jamie sweeping me. Trying to talk and that's not easy. 10.2 here. This longer sort of rise goes on for just under a kilometre. 3% average with a little false flat in the middle of it, the blue section. Just be a bit mindful of that one. Yeah, like I say, rolling through the park a little bit, there's these odd little kickers or longer climbs that could make a difference. That featherweight power up that someone's just used in front of me, that would have been from the start finish banner today, which won't be in play on Tuesday. Only power ups are going to be Anvil and Featherweight, and at this point in the race, the only power up you would have had is the Anvil. The Featherweight you'll get as we cross the sprint banner in a minute, and that sprint comes in at 13.2 kilometres. Definitely one advantage on Tuesday, just trying to stay in the group, stay in the wheels, get as much draft benefit as you can from people. Ride it smart, race it wisely, try and get as much recovery you can get in the wheels, in the pack, and got to save yourself. So 13.2 kilometres in, the New York sprint. That will be your first chance for FTS and FAL points. So that's the one to get ready for. That first New York com in reverse was just a little taster for you. But it's not in play, you only get the Anvil power up at the top of it. So here we go, just rolling through Central Park with that glass road looming above us, getting ready for us for the second climb of it shortly. But before that, that New York sprint, if you look on the WTRL schedule, it calls it something else. I think it calls it grey sprint or something, but in game it's called the New York sprint. So that's what we refer to it as in game. That's another discrepancy that people have messaged me about since yesterday's Recon ride. I don't think in game it distinguishes between like forward and reverse or not, but yeah, just New York sprint and New York com is all you need to know about. It is going to come in 13.2 kilometres. One thing to watch out, at 12.9 kilometres there is a little kicker, and that takes you to the top before you descend into the sprint. So in your head, if you think at 12.9 you need to be gearing up for that sprint, you've got that kicker before the sprint. So just trying to highlight as much to you as possible probably a disadvantage to my team when we race on Tuesday morning, but at 12.9, just coming up here, look, this little kicker takes you up to the top, and as you get to the crest of this one, we drop down into the sprint. So this little kick up, like I said, take us up to the top, and then it'll drop you down to that sprint, which Kristen, I think, is just getting to. At this point, if you've still got your Anvil, you need to ditch it, because you're going to want the feather up after the sprint. So if you've still got your Anvil power up and haven't used it, get rid of it now. -4, -5. Jamie's just showcasing that to you there. That Anvil there could make the difference on your sprint. And I wasn't expecting Jamie to do that. I just had that thought, and he shows you how to do it. That's teamwork, eh? Yeah, so if you don't need to use the Anvil on the descent, and you're quite happy in your group, you can use that Anvil into that sprint, because it is greater descent than -2, as Jamie's just showed you. Yeah, all good there then. Right, moving on. Rolling hills now until about 15.4, where we head back towards the start banner, which we go back through in the opposite direction. There will be no power up through that banner. So there's nothing to play for there. The only reason I highlight it is because it is a little kicker up into that banner. As you can see, going through the sprint, I've picked up the featherweight, so I can use that later on when my legs are fatigued and I'm struggling to climb. But definitely going to use that featherweight at some point on the New York Com, because that'll be the next time up. It will be in play for FTS and FAL, and there's a few bends in that hit sort of 12, 13, 14% gradient. That featherweight might come in useful, whether just stay with the group, bridge a group, or just save your legs a little bit. But for now, up until about 15.4 kilometers, we're just going to roll around Central Park in New York, taking the scenery, and prepare those legs for that New York Com. Yeah, just Jamie's use there of the Anvil is actually a really good assistance on that sprint. I hadn't thought of it, and he's clearly thought about that. That'd be quite a good tactic on Tuesday. In relation to Tuesday, I'll be racing in the South Atlantic Division B riders, so my live stream will go out 10:30 UK time on Tuesday morning. So if you're in the UK and racing in the evening, you'll be able to watch that, how this course actually plays out in a race, and how I try and hang on for dear life in a competitive South Atlantic Division. So here we go. This is the little kicker that I said takes us up to the start banner. That banner is not in play because we don't do the Central Park loop. This banner will give you nothing either way through it on Tuesday. Just there for show. you've got any questions or any thoughts during this stream, then please chuck them in the comments on the YouTube chat and I'll pick them up as I'm riding along. Just trying to multitask with Zwift Companion as well. Yeah, just chuck them in there. Anything, any thoughts, anything you don't agree with me, then let me know. Got a learning curve. Only did this sort of recon yesterday for the first time. Thought I'd jump on again today as it's freezing outside. I'm full of cold and I'm trying to sweat it out, but yeah, any thoughts, chuck them in the stream chat on YouTube and I'll pick them up. But recon videos out for this one, separate video altogether. Recon notes are in this description of this video and the description of the recon video I've done as well. And once you've all raced this one, you'll be pleased to know that stage 6 is a brutal one as well. That's in my opinion. I'm not the greatest of climbers, but on that one, having to take on Titan's Grove both ways isn't a lot of fun. Recorded the recon video for that one, which will be out next week before that race. But yeah, that's stage 6. Didn't have to worry about that yet. You haven't raced stage 5 yet. But yeah, any thoughts, feedback on anything that I'm doing on YouTube, please do just drop me a message, comment on any of my videos, and I'll get back to you. Obviously, this is a whole new adventure for me on YouTube since joining LEVEL Esports Racing, and really enjoying it. But I just want to make sure that the content I produce for you about Zwift Racing League, Zwift Racing and stuff that I do online is hitting the right audience and you're happy with it, or if there's anything I can change, just let me know. I've got a few other videos in the pipeline that are going to be out shortly, slightly different in the real life sort of stuff. And I'll be venturing on a training camp in March as well, preparing me for the 2025 race season out on the road here in the UK, racing for League RT, the Swindon based British race team. So I'm getting ready for that, and a new bike reveal, team bike reveal, hopefully will be out in the next couple of days, and get some feedback on that one as well. So yeah, lots of exciting things coming. So then, we've been chatting. This is what I would class as the rolling roads of Central Park. Not a lot really happens between 15.7 really and about 19. At 19 kilometers, I call it the con with no reward, or the climb with no reward. It is at 19 kilometers, averaging about 7 to 8%, but 0.7 of a kilometer is a kicker, a climb, whatever you want to call it. It will be a leg tester, and there's absolutely no reward for it. You don't get a power up at the top of it, you don't get any points at the top of it. It's just they're going to test you. You see it in the distance over there on the right. As we get to the bottom of this hill, we take a right hand turn into a glass tunnel at 19 kilometers, and then it's going to be a climb. And Tuesday, having to do New York Com twice, and then throwing this one in for us as well, should be interesting. So there's the glass tunnel you can see to the right, and then that's going to take you from 19 kilometers to 19.7 kilometers. And like I say, Average is sort of 7-8%. It's got a few little kicks in it. Heads up display will come up in a minute, but there's nothing in play for this. It is a no rewards climb. So just bear that in mind on Tuesday. Yes, you're gonna have to stay in the wheels. Yes, you're gonna have to stay with your group. But here, look, 8, 9, 10% at the base. Getting onto that orange section now. Back into the 8%ers. In a minute when we hit the yellow, it will come down again a little bit. But it's just a little tester of those legs before the New York Com comes in at 24.3 kilometers. Yes, some would say you get to the top of this and you get a little descent. It's just not needed. You've got to climb the New York Com twice. This one is just an added little kicker that gives you no reward. So you've got your featherweight. Some might be hanging on at this point and might think about using it. It all depends on your race on Tuesday, how things are going for you. If you use it here to stay with the group, it might pay dividends and later on. If you don't use it here and you get dropped, you're probably not going to get back to that group. It all depends on how you feel, where you are. I'd suggest if you're struggling to stay with the group here and use it and it can get you back to the group and you can sit in, there might be some respite. But that New York Com is going to come in at 24.3 kilometers. So just need to do what you can here. Use it, don't use it. None of us can advise, we can just point out because every time zone that races on Tuesday race so differently. If you can maintain the group you're with on here and not use it, and there's some tougher segments on that New York Com that you can probably benefit from having it. So, descent now, off the top of my no reward climb. You're going to descend down to about 20.3 kilometers. There's a little kicker, which if you attack it hard enough off the descent, you probably won't notice it. It has got a 10%er in it. It's only short, sharpie. Just hit it, get over it. You'll be fine. Just highlighting it because if you just come off the pedals and start drifting down this descent, it could spring you a little surprise. In the heads up display there. Make the most of this little descent. Just catch up with Jamie a little bit here. Make the most of this little descent, and then you should be able to crest over the top of this one. Carry that speed into it. Little dig on that 11% bit, and hopefully you'll get up over the top of that one. And then after we get off of this in a minute, it's just to roll around on the glass roads for a bit until 21.9 kilometers, where there's another little kicker which then leads you into descent. So wish we had blue skies like that in the UK at the moment, but we don't have any glass roads, so well, UK tarmac at the moment is a bit like a glass road, isn't it? All potholes. But yeah, just rolling around now on this grass road. Take us to 21.9k. There you go, just rolling around. So, a little descent down here, and then 21.9, the next little kicker up. Heads up display's flashed up for you, to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Again, couple bits in near the top. It is quite short. It does hit the double figures, I think, from memory, in these redder sections. It's going to prove me wrong now, and it's going to be like 9. But it does 10, 11, thought it did. Then once you get over the top of this, it is a descent. So that one, final little kicker. You've got descent, 22.1 kilometers, 24.3. It's a descent. Don't enjoy it too much, because when it ends, we're going to turn onto the New York Com, which will come in at 24.3 kilometers. And take us up 25.7. So work hard, stay in your group on this descent, stay with the people around you, recover as much as you can, because you know they say what goes up must come down, but also what goes down must come up. So heading down now, get us to the bottom. And then we're going to turn back and climb back up the New York Com. So this climb, in a minute, is going to be for FTS and FAL points. So a couple of people yesterday asked me what FTS and FAL stood for. It's fastest through the segment and first across the line. Points are given out for the fastest and the first across the line down to, I think it's, I'll be stand corrected on this because I haven't got those notes in front of me, but I will. I'll get them in a minute. I'm not going to give you wrong information because that's not my bag. Let's grab my other phone, quickly jump on and get you a quick answer. Because I don't want to say something and get it wrong. So, FAL points, first across the line, is from first place to 20th. First getting 20 points, and the person in 20th can get 1 point. And then the FTS, fastest through segment is 10 points for first and 1 point for 10th. How I've read that. That's on segments. And I'm sure there's probably finishing points as well. Just looking. Yeah, so that's the scoring for it anyway. If I'm wrong, I apologise, but my hands are very sweaty and can't quite get the information off my phone. So here we go then, coming down here, this little arch, that left-hand turn about to come, 24.3 kilometres in. Jamie's clearly dropped back because he's going to give this some beans. Red line across the road. This is your New York com for FTS and FAL points. 2 sections to it. Starts off here, 15% in places. Eases a little bit and gives you a little bit more. So on this one, from memory from yesterday, we go up in a straight line, there's no turning right up this one this time. So we're gonna go straight up the hill towards that sort of seashell looking building in front of you. So into 10% still, 12%, and you will hit the false flat blue section shortly. Chance to maybe get rid of some of that lactic acid in your legs if it's there. Try and spin it off before you enter the next glass tunnel. This is where your featherweight might come in useful. One of the bends in this bit does hit 13-14%. So again, it all depends on your race on the day. Just be mindful. 15% there. You could throw your featherweight here. You got this little section before that blue false flat. So if you had to throw your featherweight here, you could do. Try and push through this section then. Again, it is all going to come down to, on the day, what you're thinking. So someone's just popped up a chat in Timothy, thanks for the comment about wheel choice. If you don't want to go DT Swiss disc wheel set, then the DT Swiss aero wheels, or the Anvil, I think 9.8, probably a good wheel for helping you with the climbs, helping you with the descents as well. But I'd definitely say Pinarello Dogma F, Canyon Aeroad. I'm on the specialised S-Works today, but race day, I'll be back to the Pinarello Dogma F for me. But yeah, other wheels are out there. Doesn't have to be the disc wheel, but when you look at Zwift Bike website, it does recommend the disc wheel. I know it's been a big topic, not only for me on my Recon videos, but other people that do Recon videos have had the same conversation with me about recommending the disc wheel set. It is what they suggest, so there you go. But a little bit of respite now for that final push up the com. So be interested to see on race day how this pans out, this climb. But if you're still in the group here, doing well, remember you've got those FTS, FAL points, you get the Anvil at the top as well. Anvil at the top to help you with the descent as well, so options are there. Kristen and the lead group are clearly on the descent already. Just over 2 minutes ahead of me now. This will probably be like what it'd be like on Tuesday for me. Lead group 2 minutes down the road and me still battling up the New York Com. But hey ho, New York Com, 6.5% average gradient, 1.4 kilometers in length. Some of those bends in it peak out at 14-15%. Use your feather up wisely. 15% here. If you've still got your featherweight, get it used. Get the 30 seconds. Just helps you have that little kick over the top. I'll pick up my Anvil in a minute. Jamie that started this climb with me is now 1 minute and 20 ahead of me. He's clearly jumped on the descent as well. So the Anvil, light, makes you heavier on the descent, gives you that added boost down the hill. Use it wisely. Anything greater than a -2%, pair it with a super tuck and you'll be freewheeling down this hill. You just need to be mindful where to use it. I got it wrong yesterday. Here you hit 15%, but it quickly comes flat. If you get in this tunnel, again, it's not in double figures until you get near this bend. So if you were to hit it near this bend, you'd have double figures. But I would hold on to it. On this final left-hand bend here, you could get the speed up. You can attack a little bit here after recovering, and then you can get your speed up before you use it. And then, as I'm still pedaling and going, we turn left here. And this is the first bit of the New York Com we just climbed up as we cross over some of the other riders. If you would attack it here, there's a 15% bit in this. 12, 13%, 10%, 8%, probably used it a little bit early there. But use it, get it done, get yourself back down. The descent finishes at 28.1 as we hit the tarmac. Coming back through this glass tunnel, which is what the start of our no reward climb was from. To get back in here, back onto tarmac. All the glass roads are now behind you, but nothing further to do with glass roads in New York. We've got just over 6 kilometers to the finish, and the New York sprint comes in at 28.1. So as we turn this corner, you're going to have the New York sprint. Starts just here, look. It shows it as a 0%, 0.23 kilometers in length, and I think it's got a dip in it. So you could use your Anvil there at -2 and accelerate up to the sprint line. This banner will give you a featherweight power up, just like that. And we are then into the final bits of this race. So this final featherweight is quite an interesting one, purely because where you use it. I reckon you could use it around 29k to 29.9 because there is a climb there, a kicker that you could use it on, or if you're brave and want to hold it on until like 33 kilometers to go and try and go for a breakaway, it might be useful there. But tactics, again, I can only highlight areas that I think might be useful to you, might not. But like I say, 29 kilometers to 29.9, you're going to have this little kickers on the heads up display now. And if you were to keep hold of the featherweight until that darker orange section, then you can possibly use the featherweight there on that darker section. Just reading some of the chat, bit of a conversation between Carl and Timothy on the YouTube streaming chat, wheels and bikes. The Tron bike, I've watched a few videos on this. The Tron bike won't be, a lot of people use it still, but there's quicker bikes and wheel sets out there compared to the Tron. Not saying the Tron is dead, because you've worked desperately hard to get it over the years, but yeah, pairing the Pinarello Dogma F with any form of aero wheels, whether disc or not disc, will be quicker than a Tron bike. But Tron bikes you can have in any colour you want and they look cool, but you see less and less of them these days on Zwift. So here you go, like I said, 29.6 in. This is a little 5% kick, and then there's a little kick around the corner which you could use that featherweight on. Entirely up to you. All I know on Tuesday is I won't be averaging 205 watts at this stage in the race, so making the most of this Recon ride for you guys out there watching it. 10% here. Let's throw that featherweight. Let's get over the top of this. If you use it at the start of the yellow into orange section, you'd use it all the way up that little kick. Again, your choice, not mine. The leg snapper apparently just been corrected on a WhatsApp chat. Yeah, my legs would have been snapped a long time before that, Rich. I can guarantee you that. There you go, 4k to go. The rolling now. Just going to sit on the wheel here of Wilfred from R3R. Let him carry me a little bit. Yeah, just rolling. Nothing really of note in the closing 4 kilometers. So every race is different, but it could be a pace might slow, might not. People might jostle around positions, but 4k, there ain't a lot left. If people have kept their featherweight, then they might decide to use it and try and go for that breakaway or try and get away. But who knows? Like I say, every time zone racing is different. But if you want to see how it goes in my race, then tune in 10:30 on Tuesday morning UK time, and you'll see my live stream there. That's obviously if I'm selected to race for the team, but yeah. Also, LEVEL Esports Racing Facebook page. If you want to get involved in Zwift racing or just riding on Zwift with a good community of friendly people, then check out the Facebook page and drop us a message and get involved. We've got a Discord chat. We do lots of training rides and stuff as well. Promoting female racing as well in collaboration with Zwift. Posted one female race the other weekend, which I commentated on, which is on my channel. But there's future things to come around female racing. So get involved. LEVEL Esports Racing, all ages, all categories, all abilities, all around the world. We've got something for you. If you want to get involved in Zwift or even my whoosh, then head over. There's a friendly group there that will welcome you and help you in any way that we can. So then, stage 5 then, the WTRL, the penultimate stage. This Tuesday being raced on everything Bagel. 34.3 kilometers of racing, 545 meters of elevation, 2 times up the New York Com and 2 New York sprints. 3 segments in play for FTS and FAL. That is the second climb up the New York Com and the 2 New York sprints. So they come into this one. Your first points will be available on the New York sprint at 13.2 kilometers. The second set of points are available on the New York Com at 24.3 kilometers, and your third set of points available on the New York sprint at 28.1 kilometers. Power-ups available for Anvil, you'll get at the top of the first climb of the New York Com. Second power-up, Featherweight, when you cross the New York sprint. Third is Anvil, which you get at the top of the New York Com for the second time. And your final power-up is the Featherweight you'll get when you do the final New York sprint. Just to clarify, when you cross the start-finish line on exiting the race pens, that banner is not in play for a power-up. Although it was today in this Recon, it won't be. And when you cross it the second time at 15.4 kilometers in the opposite direction, it will not give you a power-up either. So you can only get your power-ups at the top of the New York Com or on the New York sprint. 4 available, and they're the segments you'll get it on, just to clarify that one. And also the New York Com in reverse, which is your first climb up the New York Com, is not the FTS or FAL points. My Recon videos on the channel, my Recon notes covering all the description I've given you in this video is there in the descriptions. It's in the descriptions of this one as well. And for all those that have watched this live stream and jumped in the conversations, thanks for doing that. If there's any other further comments or chats you want to have, then either jump on and follow me on Zwift Companion, throw me a thumbs up, like and subscribe to the channel, the YouTube channel, and comment on there. Always get back to you. Always happy to have your thoughts and feedback and engage in the community and what we love, which is Zwift racing. And I like to be corrected on terminology, as Rich has pointed out, that leg snapper. So 1 kilometer to go now. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. My 6-year-old boy keeps trying to get me to say it, as his favourite YouTube channel he watches, Hudson and Harley in America. I tried my best, but my lad at 6 is addicted to cycling as well, and he likes to watch my YouTube videos, especially when I race. Try and show him the ones where I don't get dropped, but he does like to watch them. He's not here today in the pain cave with me, But honestly, if you've liked the video, you like the content that I'm creating, please do throw me a thumbs up, like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be getting stage 6 Recon video ready for you to go out on probably Tuesday or Wednesday. Danger Noodle is definitely going to be a treat for the final stage of round 3. We'll be looking forward to that one. I enjoyed it so much I had to ride it 3 times in a Recon because I kept on getting it wrong. But yeah, so everyone, thumbs up, like and subscribe. This is the end. Finish banner's just come in. Thanks for supporting this hosted LEVEL Esports Racing video, and I'll catch you next time. I think I've already finished. Look. Oh no, I've got to go and do a race now. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.